What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back. And from Gothamist, East Harlem could get 32-unit dorm-style building for homeless youth. So what that means is they absolutely are not going to get it. Could get means no chance, but there will be some money that exchanges hands in this proposal, I can almost guarantee. They say, a plan to build a dormitory-style apartment complex in East Harlem harkens back to the single-room occupancy model, a once crucial low-income housing option that has largely been eliminated. The Ali Forney Center, which runs programs in housing for homeless LGBTQ young people. Oh, okay, so you got to be gay, otherwise you get nothing. They are partnering with nonprofit developer Ascendant to create a 32-unit apartment building on East 106th Street. The 10-story residence would feature separate sections where tenants have their own bedrooms but share bathrooms, kitchens, and living rooms. They would pay a portion of their income for rent, while city and state supportive housing grants would cover the rest. Well, where are they getting their income from? Are we to understand that these homeless youth are working? I doubt it. And do we think for one split second that this is going to remain a nice place where anybody would want to live, or will it quickly devolve into a junkie den of people fighting and destroying the building? The plan would mark a modest return to a kind of housing that advocates, experts, and even Mayor Adams are pitching as a solution to the city's deepening homelessness crisis. Oh, yeah. So you are claiming that they might get a dorm-style building while the illegals who hopped over the border get to stay in a 4-star hotel on Times Square. That makes sense. Okay. These people really have your best interests in mind, right? The residents have both the opportunity to have independence and also avail themselves of community spaces and community programs, said Alex Roque, the Ali Forney Center executive director. It will help young people exit homelessness. Bet it won't. I bet it won't. He likened the sections inside the building to shared townhomes. Oh, yeah, a townhome for homeless youth that they're going to pay, whatever they make from stealing out of CVS, and the state's going to cover the rest. And the illegals will remain in Times Square. This isn't a hotel anymore, it's a shelter. That's what he told me when I actually went there. Different story, and I digress. Residents will have support services like case management and mental health counseling, an on-site gym and courtyard. Most residents will likely be Ali Forney Center clients who have cycled through homeless shelters and have experienced trauma and often mental illness. There were once around 200,000 dorm-style apartments across New York City that provided a cheap source of housing for low-income residents and are now credited with preventing mass homelessness during much of the 20th century. Well, that's interesting. I don't think this is going to work by any stretch of the imagination, but it will make somebody rich. I can't prove that, allegedly. I don't know for sure, but nobody's doing this out of the kindness of their heart because they really want to help the homeless people in New York. Give me a break. It's all so corrupt to the core. Nobody's doing anything without a kickback, like Governor Kickback Kathy Hochul, whatever her name is. But the apartments became associated with crime and concentrated poverty. Yeah, because very quickly when you give people free stuff, they're not going to take care of it. It will become a dump in no time. The apartments that people pay $3-4 grand in New York are disgusting. So you think for one split second, somebody that's just, giving up the money that they make from stealing on the street is going to be a nice place? Absolutely not. With backlash fueled by racist stereotypes leading to a ban on new construction in 1955. Since then, tens of thousands of the apartments have been demolished or converted to pricier residents like luxury condos. Yeah, because you have to make your money back. Around 20,000 still remain, including many converted to permanent supportive housing for formerly homeless New Yorkers with special needs like mental or physical illness. The city's Department of Housing Preservation and Development is considering ways to revive the shared housing model while complying with existing rules that outlawed new single-room occupancy buildings. The agency selected Ascendant. So those are the ones, Ascendant and AFC. Those are the people who are going to make the money off this, even though it's probably not even going to happen. And we know that when construction starts in New York, that's it. It never ends. It never ends. Everything is so wrapped up in red tape, and it's like, controlled by, corrupt union bosses, Tony Soprano type people. Nothing ever gets done. Scaffolding goes up. It's there for a decade, right? You don't see that. Anyway, I digress. Moving on. So Ascendant and AFC to develop the East Harlem building through an initiative to create 310 units of modern-day dormitory housing. The project took the first official steps towards city approval. So here we are. This is where it's going to get all wrapped up in red tape. These people step on their own toes constantly. They're pretending they want to help, but then it has to get through all these bureaucrats, and everybody has to sign off on paperwork and permits, and everybody has to get paid until there's nothing left for the project at hand. And will soon come before Manhattan Community Board 11. Chair Xavier Santiago said the full board will vote on the plan next month, but the Land Use Committee was fairly taken with the project. I don't know if that's good or bad. Construction could begin next year if the plan receives land use approval, and the building would probably open to tenants in 2026, said Christopher Cirillo, Ascendant's executive director. So that's it. It's Ascendant and whatever this Ascendant and AFC. Those are the people who are going to make the money, and I don't know anything about them right now, but I bet if you look into it, they're tied up in direct contact with Mayor Adams or Kickback Kathy or any number of these corrupt establishment hack shills. And let's never forget, this is a little bit off topic here, but Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin, who was taken down by the feds for taking bribes and kickbacks and all sorts of stuff, who worked for Governor Kathy Hochul, who replaced Andrew Cuomo, who had to step down for playing grab ass with an intern or whatever he was doing. Don't quote me on that. And Andrew Cuomo was after Elliot Spitzer, who had to step down for being tied up with some high-end hookers. So do we think that the chain is just going to stop here? Like Governor Kickback Kathy is all on the level and they're going to right the wrongs of years past? No, they're going to dig their heels even deeper and continue to bleed the city dry, completely eliminating the middle class. So all you have is a bunch of people in high-rise condos or dope fiends living in this dormitory, on the taxpayer dime. Dormitory-style housing is not for everyone. Yeah, you think? It's ridiculous. It takes away some privacy while forcing compromises with neighbors over kitchen and bathroom time. A state law meant to ease conversions of unused hotels into apartments specifically barred the creation of single-room occupancy units by mandating that every room include a separate bathroom and kitchen. So far, that law has not led to any hotel conversions. London Hernandez, a co-coordinator of the New York City Youth Action Board, another weird bureaucracy that gets paid to do nothing, I assume, said living in a shared environment comes with its challenges, like negotiating common spaces. Yeah, that's why these people are despicable. But Hernandez, who experienced homelessness, they manipulate the words, who was homeless a couple years ago, is that what you're saying? Experienced homelessness. Oh, I'm sure it was a great experience. So they have one person who claims to have crawled out of homelessness and they're going to fix the problem. Give me a break. This is all just such a crock of nonsense. Spent time in supportive housing. Said the East Harlem complex will offer another source of housing for people who need it. I think it's a good resource for the community as a whole to help diminish the housing crisis we currently have. Hernandez says it's one more option. Okay. Well, these people are obviously full of it. This is another step for them to, again, eliminate the middle class and have a whole city full of people that are either filthy rich or living on the taxpayer dime in a junkie den. But with all that said, I don't think it's going to happen simply because of the way this article is phrased. It could happen. It's obviously not going to happen, but we can almost be certain that somebody will profit from just the proposal alone. So, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.